classic chilly winter night in Syracuse, but there's nowhere else the Orange would rather be. Tonight, the Cuse pits its perfect home record against one of the best teams the Patriot League has to offer in Bucknell. Happy holidays and welcome courtside here inside the JMA Wireless Dome along with Luke Schwartz. I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us. Tough start to the holiday week for Syracuse. Luke, the Orange go to Penn State, suffer their first loss of the season and really what was a second half collapse. Welcome inside the women's building for a spooky Sunday showdown. This afternoon, Syracuse welcomes in a Miami squad that's heating up to close the month of October, and the Orange try to stay in the hunt for the postseason. And with that, we welcome you along with Trey Redfield. I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Halloween Eve. Really excited for this matchup today between two teams, Trey, with different narratives. For Syracuse, looking to continue to exceed preseason expectations, and for Miami, trying to meet them. The regular season is winding down, but CHA play is just heating up. Tonight, Syracuse aims to snag some crucial points, and RIT looks to pull off a big-time upset. Hi, everybody. Alongside Cameron Nazaire, I'm John Eads. Very excited to be with you this evening for this matchup between the Orange and the Tigers. Cam, I think Syracuse probably pretty excited to get back on the ice in a game-like scenario for the first time in about 3 weeks. Welcome inside the JMA Wireless Dome. It's a place Syracuse has yet to lose so far this year, and tonight the Cuse looks to close up shop on a 4-game homestand to open up the Felicia Leggett-Jack era in the Salt City. And with that, we welcome you courtside along with Carl Winter. I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Exhibition play got off to a dicey start for Syracuse, Carl, but ever since the regular season started, 3 straight opponents, 3 straight blowouts for the Orange. After road trips to North Carolina and Florida, Syracuse volleyball is back in familiar grounds. This evening, SU welcomes in one of the best teams the Patriot League has to offer, the Army Black Knights. With that, we welcome you. Alongside Will Henschel, I'm John Eads. So glad to be with you back in the women's building. Bit of an up-and-down season so far for Syracuse, Will, but a nice opportunity to get a non-conference win today against the Black Knights. Yeah. Hey, Thanksgiving might be over, but the feast doesn't stop for anything. A 28-20 lead for Syracuse, the Orange feasting in that second quarter to take an 8-point lead into the break. Welcome back inside the JMA Wireless Dome along with Luke Schwartz. I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us, and happy holidays. Really tough first quarter for SU. Luke, the Orange kind of carrying over those struggles for Penn State on Monday, but the Orange flipped a switch in the second. Matched up with Hatch. Kick out to Strong. Open for 3. She cans it! How about that to end the first half? Asia Strong with a triple and a 9-point lead for the Cuse going into the break.
And also Grief.
Franco cuts. She is on fire. Down the line, diagonal doesn't matter. Franco scoring in set 3. Nearly had her first goal of the season. Getting some extended run today with Jenny Markey on the sideline. Tyrell from X. Behind the back shot, behind the back goal. Oh, Megan Carney, are you kidding me with that? Tick, tick, tick. King, pick and roll for Schaefer. Righty layup misses. Offensive rebound. Second chance for the Bison, and Collins cashes in. Count the bucket and a foul for Cecilia Collins. Moyne keeps it, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Pierce, penetrating, works his way inside, gets his hands free, and scores! 4 goals for Zach Pierce, and a 2-goal lead for Lemoyne with 4 minutes to go. The team is trying to turn the corner to close out the year. Oh, fastball right to the face of Rosado. Shimanova's not going to go down without a fight. Oh, a turnover right to Aquaro, picked up by Davies, and she scores again! Abby Davies with her second of the game, and it's back to a 2-goal lead for RIT. Tyrell, near goal line extended. Oh, shoots a defender out of her shoes, gets to the cage, and scores! Typically a 35% shooter. Hyman around the band, gets her right hand free. Oh, what a finish. Tisha Hyman, that was mean. Interesting here, putting the right wing behind Burke. It goes right to her. Wrist shot goes in! Gigi Poro with the score off the faceoff. And it's 2-1 Tigers. Lindenwood strikes back. Kick out O'Brien, open from the wing, nothing but nylon. Still match point for Army. And they end it. Mackenzie Lynch, the true freshman, with the rifle.
Of that steal.
Skip past Georgia Woolley from the wing. Count it! First points of the night for Georgia Woolley. And it's all Syracuse on Black Friday. Tied for second on the team in free position goals, and she'll look to get one here. Charges towards Cage, lets it fly, bing bong! Off the crossbar and in. Binghamton back on the board. Jessica Bayer, her first goal of the season. Ty Johnson, swatted, but does draw contact. And you do not want to drive into the lane when Dariana Lewis is sitting there. She's a terror. And keeps possession for RIT. Cross ice pass for Davies. No, the rebound is there. Athena Vastani punches it in, and that might be the dagger. Takeaway. Tisha Hyman, full court pass up ahead. The Orange with numbers. Asia Strong, lefty layup, counted and a foul. Turnovers for touchdowns for Syracuse, and an old-fashioned three-point play for Strong. O'Shea behind goal, looking. Give and go and a goal! It's Abby Malotny beating McQuigg. A beautiful feed from Sarah Marchand.
Earlier this week, her healthy competition with Dariana Lewis when Lewis is on the floor. Her running mate out today, but Strong picking up the slack.
Hyman hits again. Boy, this Syracuse defense is swarming. The Orange erupting in the third quarter. It's a 22-point lead for the Cuse. Long Island needs a timeout. So how about this from Syracuse? Slow start in the first, slow in the second, but have really opened things up in the third. Defense leading to offense for Syracuse, and Tisha Hyman putting together an offensive display in the third quarter. Wipe those record books clean because it's time for year 47 of the Jim Boeheim era in the Salt City. Tonight, Syracuse opens up a brand new season against Lehigh inside the JMA Wireless Dome. Welcome on into the Newhouse Studios for the Cuse.com pregame show. Along with Cameron Nazaire, I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us. So great to have college basketball back, Cam. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Cuse.com pregame show. Along with Trey Redfield, I'm John Eads, getting you all set for Syracuse and Clemson. It's been a one-sided series, Trey. The Tigers have beaten the Orange 7 times, one tie as well. But tonight, that might change. Syracuse all over Lehigh, 44-26 at the break as the Orange embark on year 47, the Jim Boeheim era at Syracuse. With that, we welcome you to the ACC Network Halftime Report. He's Cameron Nazaire. I'm John Eads. Wow, what a first half from Syracuse there, Cam. Getting closer and closer to kickoff between 3-seed Syracuse and Penn in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Back with you on the Cuse.com pregame show. Along with Phil Galati, I'm John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us. Really excited for this matchup. Postseason soccer continues. A wet and sloppy environment over at SU Soccer Stadium, but UNC leads the Cuse 1-0 after the first 45 minutes of action. With that, we welcome you into our Newhouse Studios for the ACC Network Extra Halftime Report. Along with Jared Johnston, I'm John Eads. Nice and dry here in the studio, not having to deal with that precipitation. So those are a couple of players you got to keep an eye on in terms of newcomers, couple of freshmen for this team. But don't forget about the veterans as well, because Syracuse has two guys, Joe Girard, Jesse Edwards. We talked about Jesse a little bit. Joe Girard transitioning from the point guard role to the shooting guard role. He averaged 16 points per game in SU's first two exhibition games. And for more on that transition, we go to Jack Gordon. A lot of competitive games in there, but as a whole, ACC play been a dark spot for Syracuse. What's been a bright spot has been the goalkeeping play, and Shea Vanderbosch has everything to do with that. She has been unbelievable this season since coming in relief early on. To further paint the picture of just how good this Syracuse team is, both in that contest and the entire ACC tournament, 3 honorees from that Clemson squad that Syracuse beat 2-0 in the ACC title game to clinch the program's second ever ACC title. All right, that's enough about Syracuse for now, though. The Orange with a contest against Penn coming up at 2 o'clock, and after the break, we'll tell you all about the Quakers as we prepare for the second round battle between Syracuse and Penn. Stick with us. Breakout season last year for Taylor, part of a third-team All-Patriot League performance 1 year ago. We already talked about Joe Girard for Syracuse, so offense not going to be a problem in this matchup tonight. What might be, though, is the defense, because the Orange were one of the worst teams in the ACC last year in terms of defense. Lehigh not much better over in the Patriot League. One guy that can turn on the Jets and is very skilled in the one-on-ones, Levante Johnson, leads this team in points, tied for the team lead in goals with Nathan Opoku. He hasn't scored in a long time. What does he need to do to get going today? Conti a forward, so you would expect her to kind of be at the top of the team in terms of scoring. How about McKenna Morris? She's a defender for this team, but she loves to get involved in the attack as well. Despite all of that, Coach McIntyre of Syracuse University, the head coach of this team, who's taken this team to the tournament 7 different times, expects an offensive game today between Syracuse and Penn.
Look, a team that probably was a little bit unfortunate not to be a seeded program themselves.
Seems like he's becoming the player that Coach Boeheim envisioned when he recruited Edwards out of IMG Academy. He is blossoming in his senior season. He's one member of a 3-member crew. We call it the Triple J Threat. Really enforced their will in this game this evening and is standing out, this group of 3. First appearance in the 3rd round or later of the NCAA tournament since 1975. So 2 squads on a collision course to play each other. What's interesting is that Cornell didn't even win the Ivy League. They beat Penn, so one of the better teams in the Ivy League, but now Syracuse trying to take down 2 back-to-back. And they destroyed Syracuse in Tennessee last night 5-2 and up 3-2 at this juncture. Syracuse working through non-conference play, looking ahead to CHA play, trying to defend their title. But I don't know if you're much of a skater. Let's get off the ice, come back to the pitch. Syracuse women's soccer down 1-0 right now to Clemson. What do the Orange need to do better in the second half to get back in this thing, maybe tie it up or win it? Well, big reason why Syracuse is one of the best teams in the ACC, actually the best because they won the tournament. And into this second-round matchup against Penn today, the Orange have a unique formation they've been running all season, which might be the secret weapon to SU's top 6 nationally ranked defense. And for more on that, we go to Sammy St. Jean, who joins us in studio. 18 points for Edwards in this matchup. You know who was in front of him?
Who was it?
JG3 with 19
right.
points. What did he do in the second half to get going? So Coach McIntyre is expecting an offensive game today. He's expecting some goals. What do you think? Offensive, defensive game today? Another big game going down on the Hill. The best college football game in the Dome since 1998. Number 18 Syracuse against number 15 NC State. Let's go to Tiger Munn for more on this matchup. 4 different goal scorers for Syracuse in its last 3 games, all coming in the ACC tournament. 2 goals against Clemson in the first half of the ACC championship. So SU regarded kind of as a first half team. We'll see what adjustments, if they make those adjustments in the second half. Coach McIntyre might be listening to you. On the other side for Penn, the top offense in the Ivy League, scoreless thus far in this contest. So what do the Quakers need to do or get back to the roots doing in the second half? Hey, thanks, Tiger. Really jealous of your name, by the way. Syracuse football seeking bowl eligibility for the first time since 2018. Big time. Never seen Joe Girard jump that high. I mean, that was incredible. Season high for him, 21 points in the victory over Northeastern. So successful Saturday for Syracuse men's basketball. Not so much for Syracuse football. For more on SU's loss in Winston-Salem to Wake Forest, Matt Kibbe joins us in studio. Matt? Thanks, Matt. Yeah, that's Tommy DeVito. What a story that would be. DeVito going to Illinois, facing his former team in Syracuse in a bowl game. If I'm SU, if I'm Dino Babers, not sure I want that matchup because the Fighting Illini are one of the best teams the Big Ten has to offer. A cold, chilly day over at SU Soccer Stadium, and well, for 3-seed Syracuse and Penn, the offense is cold so far. Scoreless after the first half of play between the Orange and the Quakers. Thanks for sticking with us, and welcome back to the ACC Network Halftime Report. He's Phil Galati. I'm Johnny. It's a couple of notes here. Syracuse 4-1-3 this season when tied with their opponent at the half. On the other side, Penn scoreless in the first half for the first time since October 18th in a contest against Drexel. Well, how about that? Career win number 999 for Jim Boeheim as Syracuse cruises in its season opener 90-72 over Lehigh. Welcome on into the Cuse.com postgame show along with Cameron Ezer. I'm John Eads. Start to finish dominance for SU, Cam. It seems like the Orange have put past last season's disappointment. Levante Johnson's goal, 1 minute into that overtime session, the difference in this game today for Syracuse, and he now joins us on the Cuse.com postgame show. Levante, you've had some big goals for this team over the past couple weeks. The game winner against UNC in the ACC tournament, then this score today. Why is it that you're so clutch in the big moments, and what prepares you for these big plays?
I just have to give credit to my teammates. You know, they make it really easy for me.
We're joined now by Jenna Tivnan. She scored the lone goal for Syracuse in this contest tonight, her second of the season. Played hero late in this contest to earn this 1-1 tie for Syracuse. Jenna, congratulations on that score. Congratulations on that tie. Can you put us in your shoes on that play where you vaulted in the air and headed that ball in?
So it's just kind of like, I don't even know.
10 different players logged a dozen minutes for Syracuse in the second exhibition game against Southern New Hampshire. What do you expect the impact of the SU bench to be this season?
Well, it could be great. You have a lot of freshmen.
Dean, Syracuse is one of the hottest teams in college soccer right now, winning the ACC tournament, ripping off a big win streak. On the other side, Penn won the Ivy League and had a chance to already play an NCAA tournament game in a win over Rutgers in the first round. How big of a factor will that time off play, if any, today for SU?
Well, I think it's, the good side of it is if you've got injuries or knocks and, bruises, guys can.
Now I want to know about some of the guys coming off the bench, Matt, specifically Symir Torrance. He was terrific off the pine in this game for Syracuse. What kind of an impact can he have down the stretch for SU this year?
We had a career high tonight, 10 points, scored more here or than Marquette as well. But
Levante, an incredible story across your collegiate career, starting at Seattle, one of the best players at that college, then taking the gamble, going across the country from Washington all the way to New York. Now you're spearheading one of the best teams in Syracuse soccer history. How does it feel to get the job done today and to be having the season you guys are having this year?
It's amazing, to be honest.
The team of destiny continues. Hashtag dare to dream. Syracuse dreaming of a national title. It's still on the line. It's still a possibility. They got 14 seed Cornell next. That's all for Phil Galati and myself, John Eads. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night. Happy holidays, everybody. That's all the time we have here for this edition of the Cuse.com postgame show. Thanks so much for joining us as Syracuse picks up its season opening win over Lehigh. He's Cameron Azair. I'm John Eads. We'd be remiss if we didn't wish a happy birthday to our producer Ryan Nelson, turning 22 today. Also a big thanks to our director Matt Fairfax. And thank you so much to the viewers for tuning in for this edition of the Cuse.com postgame show. One more time, Syracuse 90, Lehigh 72. Have a great night, everybody. The Orange take care of business against Bucknell. 65-48 the final score. The Orange improved to 5-1, 5-0 at home in a game where there was one lead change. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. For Luke Schwartz, our producer Kristen Hennessy, our statistician Ian Nicholas, I'm John Eads saying so long from the JMA Wireless Dome. The Orange advanced to 5-1 with a big-time bounce-back win against Bucknell, and now set their sights on Purdue next week. Happy holidays, thanks again for joining us, and have a great night. It's the second consecutive game that the Black Knights have won in 4 sets, and they move to 3-5. On the other side, Syracuse falls to 3-4. The Orange will be back in action tomorrow against Hofstra, Army in action against Yale. That's all for us tonight. For Will Henschel and the entire crew behind the scenes, I'm John Eads. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. One more time, Army takes down Syracuse 3-1 in a 4-set thriller. First home win for Coach Ganasharatnam at the helm of SU. The Orange moved to 4-4, also 4-0 in matches where they take a 2-0 set lead. Hofstra falls to 3-6, back in action later on in the Syracuse tournament. That's all for Will Henschel and myself. Big thanks to our producer, Kristen Hennessy. Thanks so much for tuning in. One more time, Syracuse takes down Hofstra 3-1.